Hello, I'm Lord Jimsicle and you're watching You Have Issues, a programme all about comics. Well, here it is guys. DC Comics have begun their relaunch of all their titles and their entire universe. They've started this by introducing 52 new number ones as a jumping on point for new readers. Well, for those of you who aren't aware, Jeff Johns and Jim Lee of DC Comics spearheaded a plan to reset all the titles, reboot the continuity to a younger part of our hero's career, as well as integrate the Wildstorm universe into the DC universe. I'll admit, I was very sceptical about it at first, because I didn't really want to read about an uncoordinated Justice League or a gaff-prone Superman. But you know what? Jeff Johns isn't stupid. He's going to definitely address all these kind of concerns in story and actually make it brilliant. While I'm pleased so far about the relaunch, there are a few concerns about whether or not past events from New Earth happened or not.
For instance, did Superman's death and return happen? Was Jason Todd killed by the Joker and resurrected by the actions of the overpowered crybaby Superboy Prime by punching reality so hard he woke up in his coffin?
It's a lot cooler than it sounds. Honest!
It has emerged that certain New Earth stories will remain unchanged. The most prominent example is Green Lantern, which means that the Sinestro Corps War, Blackest Night and Brightest Day will remain in canon.
But how can this be? I mean, if Superman's history has changed and Green Lantern and Batman's hasn't, isn't that going to be a bit weird?
Well, after listening to several podcasts of the various DC Comics panels at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, they've established that there has been a 5-year period between the times our heroes have been active and the start of this relaunch, allowing room for some major New Earth events.
So, yes, Superman's death at the hands of Doomsday did happen, as did the events of Identity Crisis and Jason Todd's death and resurrection. This makes sense because 5 years in comics time can be ambiguous compared to publication time. For instance, The Blackest Night took place over the space of one night, whereas in publication time it took 9 months. Green Lantern isn't the only people that have been given special treatment.
The Batman continuity will also remain intact with very few changes, such as Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson returning to the roles of Batman and Nightwing respectively. I do mourn Dick Grayson being demoted from the role of Batman, but he had a fantastic stint as the Dark Knight, and he will continue his fantastic adventures back in the identity that he forged for himself. Damian Wayne will continue in the role of Robin, which means that him and Batman will be a father-son crime-fighting team.
Yeah, I'll admit, I thought it sounded pretty bloody ridiculous at first, but after I gave it a bit of thought, it could be an interesting mix. Traditionally, the dynamic duo has always been a pair of conflicting personalities. This was inverted when Dick Grayson became Batman and Damian Wayne became Robin, but now that Bruce Wayne is back as the only Batman in town, I think it'll be interesting seeing a pair of moody pillocks taking out crime in Gotham.
Tim Drake will remain in the role of Red Robin, but as his series was cancelled, he will mainly star in the relaunched Teen Titans, while making a few appearances in the Bat titles, presumably. One of the biggest and most controversial changes in this relaunch is the decision to give Barbara Gordon the use of her legs back, quit the role of Oracle, and have her back in the cowl as Batgirl. Now, I'm in two minds about this. I've always had a soft spot for Oracle because she's not been anything more than an absolute badass by being the core information broker to the heroes of the DC Universe. She's also a fantastic leader. Just pick up any issue of Birds of Prey and you'll see exactly what I mean. While I'm pleased to see Barbara walking again, I feel it's just a step back by having her as Batgirl again. Personally, I'd have preferred it if she continued to be Oracle, but maybe with a new modus operandi or leading a whole new team with her having top billing. I'm a bit worried that this may suggest that she wasn't involved with the birds at all. This might not even allow much room for her history as Oracle.
Considering the amount of character changes and history changes they're doing, they might as well have just taken a leaf out of Marvel's book and just introduced an alternate universe imprint similar to their Ultimate line. This way, they could have had a really good jumping on point for new readers, a new chapter for existing readers, and then the New Earth fanboys like me could have just stuck with our publications and been done with it. DC have also announced that they're going to be renumbering several of their titles back to number 1. While the renumbering didn't really bother me at first, my main gripe was them just renumbering Action Comics and Detective Comics all the way back to number 1. I was really looking forward to a bumper landmark edition of Action Comics and Detective Comics 1000, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. In fact, it would have taken 8 years from now for it to happen, so really, there's no way they would have waited that long to do something like this. Anyway, since it's set in concrete and there's very little any of us can do about it, I'm going to go through the titles that I will be picking up out of the new 52. Justice League Issue 1. I've picked this one up already, and so far it is fucking awesome. This new series returns to a lineup of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, The Flash, with the Martian Manhunter being replaced by the Teen Titans staple, Cyborg. Superman Issue 1. Now this new series is going to be detailing his current exploits, whereas the relaunched Action Comics, written by Grant Morrison, is going to be redoing the origin story in accordance to the new continuity. I won't be picking that one up because I can't be bothered to go through yet another origin story, so I'm just going to be picking this one up for the new ones. Green Lantern issue 1. Now this new title is going to be picking up from the end of the War of the Green Lantern, which showed Hal Jordan's ring recruiting Sinestro back into the Green Lantern Corps, which obviously neither of them are happy about. So I'd be a fool not to pick this one up. Green Arrow issue 1. This will be a 5th volume for the Emerald Archer. He's being given a back to basics approach, which means looking younger, a new costume which bears some similarities to his Smallville costume. You know what, that's not actually a bad thing. Our boy Ollie has been through quite a few hard times since the rise of Arsenal, so I'm very much looking forward to a nice clean slate with some new adventures for our Emerald hero. They'd better bring back the trick arrows. Aquaman issue 1. Now I'm really looking forward to this because he was so brilliant in The Blackest Night and Brightest Day, so hopefully we'll get more of this portrayal in this new ongoing series. Batman The Dark Knight issue 1. There are simply too many titles featuring Batman as part of this relaunch, and I can't really afford all of them, my feeble wallet can't handle it, so I'm only picking up this one as well as another one. The opening plot seemed awesome, as it shows Batman fighting his way out of Arkham Asylum, and then Bruce Wayne having to face the legal ramifications of Batman Incorporated, so I'm very much looking forward to this one. Batman and Robin issue 1. Now this is the other title I'm picking up. I'm particularly excited to see the working dynamic between Bruce and his son Damian as Batman and Robin. Now when Damian was under Dick Grayson's wing, he managed to keep all the violence under control, so let's just see how Brucey takes care of it. You know what, speaking of Dick Grayson, Nightwing issue 1. I'm especially excited about this one because he's going to be based in Gotham, following around Haley's circus which has come back, but there's a few people targeting it, so what's he going to make of that? I'm not sure, let's find out. Batgirl issue 1. Now I'm picking this up despite my concerns because I'd really like to know how Barbara Gordon got the use of her legs back. And you know what? It's Gail Simone. Gail Simone has never let me down. She writes most of my favourite books, so you know what? I'm giving this a try because it's Gail Simone. What more do you need? A Huntress miniseries has been announced in October, and that's going to tie in with the relaunched Birds of Prey. I've been hesitant at picking up the relaunched Birds of Prey because there's just been too many changes for my liking. But you know what? I've got a soft spot for Huntress, so I'm definitely going to pick up that series. And who knows? Maybe the new team might be better than before. I don't know, but I'm just not picking it up instantly. Thank you for watching this episode of You Have Issues. Stay tuned because then I'll be having more video reviews of the DC relaunch coming up. So thank you very much. This is me signing off.